All right, so here we are again with the pre-workout routine. We're about to mix up our favorite cocktail, get ourselves to the gym for a back day. Looking forward to taking you guys with me on a little vlog beforehand and doing an instructional, a little bit of stream of consciousness narration of the workout. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling it's gonna go good. I love back day. We have some saving Europa to do, we have some muscle mass to accrue, and we have some body fat to lose. You like that? I just made that up on the spot. No script there, but let's go ahead and mix up our favorite cocktail. We have a 3-ingredient pre-workout as always. 1 scoop of the Beyond Raw, half a scoop of the Sebum's Essential, half a teaspoon of the citric acid, and then we will throw some branch chain amino acids into our thermos over here for our intro workouts. It's a lot, you know. I'm not referring to the supplements, I'm referring to everything we gotta do. I filmed a instructional video for some delicious desserts for you guys before this. I'm onto this Ninja Creamy. You can't see it, it's back there on the counter, but it's like a homemade ice cream machine. If you guys haven't heard of this thing, you gotta get one, man. Homemade protein ice cream that's like just as good as getting a McDonald's Blizzard or a Dairy Queen kind of thing, where it's a McDonald's McFlurry, a Dairy Queen Blizzard. Absolutely phenomenal. I've had one every day for the last 50 days. It's that good. So I showed you guys how to make banana pudding ice cream, Fruity Pebbles ice cream, and what was the other one? Oh, orange cinnamon roll ice cream. Damn good. All 3 of them are damn good. 40 grams of protein, and it's a giant tub. It's a tub this big of ice cream, which I don't know if you can see how big that is, but that is very big. Hold on, can I get a focus there? There you go. So I go to sleep very, very full after just having had an enormous dinner and then a huge, it's not a bowl of ice cream, it's a tub of ice cream. All right, now here's the difficult part of this pre-workout. A little bit of a self-imposed difficulty, but I like to reuse my Gatorade bottles just to cut down on the number of dishes I have to do. And the scooper for this Beyond Raw is like bigger than the opening of the Gatorade bottle. But if I pinch it, I can kind of funnel it in there without making too big of a mess. Scoop of that, half a scoop of our Sebum Essential. This is nice, you got like a mix of 2 flavors. This is gummy worm and this is blue raspberry. During Black Friday, GNC had a sale on the Beyond Raw's Lit. I usually don't buy it because it's overpriced. And I usually stick with just Sebum from Sam's Club, less than $1 a serving. But they had the Beyond Raw on sale, so I bought 3 tubs of that, which is 90 days. Actually, I think I even bought 4 tubs of it. So in order to not burn out on a single protein or on a single pre-workout flavor, try to get a couple of different ones, and you can do some fun flavor combinations. That way you just, as I said, don't get burned out on your pre-workout. That's the worst, because you should be able to enjoy your pre-workout routine. You should look forward to it. It should be like a delicious beverage. It's like my happy hour that I talk about all the time. I look forward to not just getting the buzz of the beta-alanine and the caffeine and getting focused before going in there and lifting. I look forward to the taste of the pre-workout too. Sitting there sipping a delicious beverage for an hour. That is happy hour for most people. Mine just doesn't include any alcohol. All right, we're mixed up. I got to get some water in here, and then I will take you guys along for the drive before the gym. All right, we are locked and loaded. Time for the gym. Let's get a little chat in before we go in there and take care of back day. Got to be extra careful on the road today. Here in Alabama, it is below freezing. There's icicles hanging off of my mailbox over here. They were out salting the roads and everything the last couple days. Here in the South, everybody goes into complete irrational panic whenever temperatures get below freezing. The roads themselves are a circus, and then everybody's raiding the grocery stores for milk and bread. It's like, guys, it's gonna last 48 hours. Okay, it's seriously not that big of a deal. If you don't have 48 hours worth of food in your house, then maybe you should work on your planning and time management, other things. We gotta get some heat going in here. It's, as I said, slightly cold out here. Well, guess what? We are filming on yet another new experimental setup. Same thing I talked about last time with the suction mount on the windshield. That's all, the mounting gear is all the same. And you probably can't tell the difference here in terms of the camera in this particular environment, but this is a brand new camera. This is the Sony FX30, new for me, of course, bought on the used market. The camera itself came out a few years ago, but this is by far the newest, nicest camera I've ever had. We were filming on the Sony a6700 for the last 3 weeks, and for the many months before that, the Sony a6100. This FX30 is from the Cinema line, so it is specifically intended for videography and even more for long format videography. And that is why we had to make this swap from the a6700 to the FX30, because doing exactly what I'm doing right now, sitting here trying to vlog for you guys the other day, the camera overheats. And this is while it's 30 degrees outside. I'm not talking about, you know, the hot Alabama humid summer. I'm talking about in the middle of wintertime, a 15-minute vlog has this camera overheating. And that's because the a6700 and all of the ones in the a6000 line, they're not really made for long format video. Like, you can shoot very good quality video on them. They're all 4K. You can shoot in 30, 60, and 120 even on the a6700. But the limitation there is that they all overheat very easily when shooting 4K, especially if you're talking 60 or 120 frames per second. So like, if you're out there as a videographer doing commercial work, you know, filming a commercial or a music video, or even some, you know, documentary or film content, you don't typically have the recording going for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. You're shooting bursts of content that eventually get stitched together in the editing room. And that's where those cameras can fill the need for doing high quality video content. But if you are in the business of live streaming or filming very long interviews or very long vlogs, I shouldn't say very long, I don't talk that much, but as I said, 15 minutes and beyond, then there's a limitation in those cameras in terms of their heating capacity. They don't have a built-in fan. So the battery starts getting hot, the camera doesn't want to melt itself, so it kills the recording. I found that out the hard way with the camera dying. It overheated at the gym once or twice, and then it overheated the other day when I was doing a vlog. And it's like a $1,500 camera for just the body, no lens. It's like, you're gonna pay that much money and you're not gonna be able to record a 15-minute video? Seriously? So I had to look into something that would better suit my needs, which is where you get into the Cinema line of cameras. And this FX30 here, I found on Facebook Marketplace. Had to do a little bit of a drive, about an hour-and-a-half drive, but I was able to do a trade for a lens that I don't really have any use for, that I got in another trade before. Very expensive lens, the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8. The thing is a bazooka. It's a telephoto lens meant for capturing stuff that's pretty far away, sports photography, birding, you know, wildlife, that kind of stuff. I don't do any of that. It's a fun lens to play with. It's a nice thing to have in my arsenal, but the lens is worth $1,500. And so, like, I don't need something that I use twice a year that's worth $1,500 tying up that much capital. So it was an easy one-for-one swap. Swapped the lens for a brand new camera. He's happy, I'm happy, and now I can record for longer than 15 minutes. And this enables me to return the a6700 that I bought out of pocket. So I get to have all of that money back. I get to get rid of this lens that, yeah, it was worth a lot of money, but so is this camera. You know, if I was ever in financial straits, then I would sell off this camera. So Facebook Marketplace, man, I'm telling you guys, life hack, not just a life hack, but a nice little side hustle for me. This month alone, I made about somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 between the Apple ecosystem of products and camera gear. If you know the market, the use value, the condition, and all that kind of stuff, you can make a good bit of money as a side hustle, especially if you open up your radius of how far you're willing to travel for deals. Because I was doing some deals here and there, but I was like, I really don't want to drive more than 30 minutes. But if the question is, will you drive 3 hours to make $500? Okay, now I'll consider it. Now we're making more than $100 an hour. That's a lot different, okay? I'm not gonna drive that distance for a $50 profit deal or even a $100 deal. But my equation does tend to be, if it's gonna net me $100 an hour, then I'll drive for that. I'm not gonna drive like 12 hours or something, but deals, like, there's not many deals out there that are profitable to the tune of you're gonna make $1,000 because you found such a good deal on the thing. That's not really happening, but I do want to give more content to you guys in terms of just raising all of your skill sets, you know, ways to draw a little bit of extra money into the pockets every month while getting fit, while getting spiritually sound, while getting politically sound, just becoming a full-fledged man who is optimizing himself in all of these different facets of life. That's why I built Beholden the Truth. And of course, what I came to find out was that account blew up, 120,000 followers on the political subjects, me being willing to talk about controversial issues, you know, the difference between the world religions, the incompatibility of different religions with each other, the cultural associations with each race and how those can sometimes be incompatible, the situation with men and women, gender roles, the patriarchy, you know, those conversations are quite controversial these days, unfortunately, and have been for most of our entire lives. And so the fact that I was willing to just talk about these things and say what needs to be said, people really like that authenticity. And so that account blew up. But my intention was always for Beholden the Truth to be threefold: Christ culture, fitness lifestyle, white identity. Standing up for white people, saying we are a group just like black people are a group, just like Asians and Hispanics and Jews. We're all different groups. Every group has their own self-interest. Every group doesn't apologize for advocating for themselves or being proud of themselves. And so I do all of that work politically, advocating for white people on Beholden the Truth. And I don't mind throwing it out there on this channel. It's certainly nothing that I hide. But the reason I had to build this whole separate channel, Christ Culture Fitness, is because the fitness content specifically, that really is its own niche. And when you try to force that content through the Beholden the Truth platform, as I would like to do, I like to show my entire life 360 degrees on one platform. The stupid algorithm, YouTube, the way it works is, let's just say you're used to following Beholden the Truth because he's the guy who talks about all these controversial political issues. So, oh look, Josh just uploaded a new episode on Beholden the Truth. And you tune in and it's, here's how to have a back day that is split between vertical pulling movements and horizontal pulling movements. And here's the difference between hypertrophy training and powerlifting and CrossFit. And the difference between low intensity, steady state cardio and high intensity impact training. It's like, well, I tuned in to hear what's going on with the war in Iran. You know, it's like I tuned in to hear Josh's opinions about religions not being compatible with each other. I was hoping he was going to talk about white identity, and I'm sitting there breaking down a gym routine. And so what that causes to happen is the people who saw you posted a new video, who follow you expecting to see that kind of content when you post, they're not interested in the bodybuilding stuff. I wish they were. It is part of my brand, but I can't force them to be interested. And so they will click off of that video and go watch whatever else. There's a metric for that, a KPI, a key performance indicator, that is part of the weighting of the YouTube algorithm called the abandonment rate. And the frequency with which people are abandoning your content, they open it up, they watch a minute or two, and then they leave, that really tanks your content. And so if people, as I said, are tuning in, they think it's a politics video or whatever, and it's just gym content, it's me teaching you guys how to cook calorie conscious, high protein meals, they didn't come for that. They abandoned the video, and because the video is being abandoned by the first set of watchers, or a portion of the first set of watchers, it immediately gets deranked and it stops getting served to new followers. So that is just a problem of having multiple passions and trying to deliver them all on one platform. The algorithm really doesn't like that. It doesn't play along very well. I'm trying to decide. I'm still thinking about maybe just saying, fuck the algorithm. If the people click off the video because they're not interested in that part of me or that part of Beholding the Truth, then okay, fine. You know, we'll get deranked in the algorithm. We'll grow followers regardless. Maybe that's one approach. Or the other approach is just keep it political on Beholding the Truth. And I can certainly cross-mention the two platforms and say, hey, if you want to see my fitness content, go to Christ Culture Fitness. And on this platform, if you want to see my controversial politics that got me banned multiple times, got me fired from my job, if you want to see all that content, go over to Beholding the Truth. I don't know which one is ultimately the strategy that's going to win out, but for the time being, we're serving up content uniquely on Christ Culture Fitness that is uniquely fitness and dieting and all that kind of stuff. I might duplicate post on both just to see if it really does have a negative impact on the algorithm. Maybe this video is the video where I will do that, and you guys will just have to tell me. If you tuned in saying, oh my gosh, it's been a month since Josh uploaded on Beholding the Truth, where the hell has he been? No, where have you been? I've been uploading this entire time. Go look at Christ Culture Fitness. I think we have the first 4 videos for that brand new channel over there. This will be a 5th video, but maybe we'll stick it on both platforms and just kind of see what happens. Lots and lots of experimentation going on, you guys. There's the monetization question as well, that basically we already unlocked monetization on Beholding the Truth, which took multiple years to achieve. You have to have, I can't remember, like 4,000, 5,000 watched hours, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And because I was constantly fighting shadow bans for my entire YouTube life, up until they started a little bit of easing back on the censorship just in the last 12 months, suddenly then I started getting thousands of new followers. Because I was censored and suppressed for so long, I could never unlock monetization. We finally unlocked that about 6 months ago on YouTube, and we're not making a lot of money, maybe a couple $100 a month, but that is nice. And to see that number grow, coinciding with the follower count that grows, that would be beneficial for me, especially seeing as I got fired from my real job that pays, I don't know, about 100 times, literally 100 times what I make on YouTube. It would be nice if we could offset some of the financial bleeding of being unemployed with some YouTube monetization. And when you have all this controversial content, or you're inviting people onto your channel who are controversial, your account gets a strike, you get demonetized as part of that too. You get a strike, meaning if you get 3 strikes in a certain period of time, I think it's 90 days, they nuke your entire account. It's just gone forever. But for the first 2 weeks after each strike, you get demonetized as well. So whatever cash you are generating is immediately suspended for those 2 weeks with each strike that you get. So Christ Culture Fitness being a fully separate channel that is never inviting on controversial guests or delving into controversial waters, it is much more censorship proof and safer to monetize over time. So this is just talking through the grand strategy of trying to run these multiple platforms, serve you guys all of the stuff that you need, because you don't just need to be politically educated or spiritually educated. You do need to be physically healthy. I say it a million times. The Greeks and Romans, they knew thousands of years ago, a healthy body is a healthy mind. So we got to get that foundation set. You got to get your spiritual foundation and your political foundation oriented, so you know how this world even works and why things are changing, especially if you're not happy with the way things are. Why is it that things seem to continually get worse? And it's been that way for my whole life. The economy only gets harder. The dating landscape is a complete wasteland. The spiritual fabric of the country is in the toilet. Like, what's happening? Why is this happening? This is like why you actually have to get involved with politics. Not saying you need to go run for local office, but at a minimum, you should be educated and understand this two-party system, Republicans and Democrats and all this stuff. You need to understand what's really going on, the actual Matrix, that the Matrix was not a film. It wasn't a sci-fi future dystopian myth. This is our actual real life. We do live in a Matrix. Most of the things that you see are a orchestrated artificial simulation meant to instill you with a belief or confidence that something is happening that is not actually happening. And so we won't go too deeply into that, given that this is going to be on both platforms. But we just pulled up to the gym, so it is that time. We have a back day to film, and we only have, 37% battery. That's not good. I got a couple other batteries, but they're also low. So hopefully we can get charged back up here, and I will be able to serve you guys up an educational back day. You can grow wings. You can have a barn door on your back. You can just take bullets one after another in your back and just shrug them off. All right, guys, I'm going to sip this pre-workout, do a couple tasks before we get into the gym, and then we'll have this back day. All right, you guys, we have arrived. It is time for back day. We're going to get set up on this seated row machine. It's actually a pretty versatile machine. We might be able to do a couple movements on this bad boy. But the general structure for back day is always half horizontal pulling movements and half vertical pulling movements. Whether those are pull downs or pull ups, we're going to do 2 movements of each, horizontal to vertical. So let's go ahead and get a nice little warm-up set and get started. All right, just doing a little bit of stretching out before we do this first warm-up set. These are actually not the handles. The handles are down here because it's a row machine. So I'm just grabbing a part of the machine itself up here and leaning through my torso, stretching out my lats. This portion down here is what I want to stretch out. This is actually doing 2 things. It's stretching out my lats down here, but it's also stretching out my pecs here. All right, here we go. First set of a warm-up weight. Drop this down to about half, maybe a third of our actual working weight. This particular machine is a chest-supported machine, so we're going to get our chest up against that. There's some foot pads down here I'm putting my feet up on. Now, biggest tip about chest day is making sure that your chest always stays rolled up. Imagine your lower back having a slight curve to it, and you're trying to tilt your chest up towards the ceiling. You shouldn't be hunched over like this. You should always make sure you have a nice upright, chest out and up position. All right, so I have a overhand grip on these handles. What that means is your thumb is out. It's not tucked in like this, it's out here. And what that does is it takes a bit of the grip and the forearm out of the movement to make it a bit more intentional with relying on your lats, rhomboids to facilitate the movement. Another thing that I'm imagining is as I come back, my elbow, I'm trying to imagine if I had pockets in the back of these pants, that I was like trying to slip my elbow into those pockets. Now you're not going to be able to do that full range of motion based on the plane that this machine operates on. It's very horizontal. Like I actually can't pull it that far down, but that's what you're trying to imagine accomplishing, is coming back and down. So chest up. Very important that we're keeping our elbows tucked in to the side and not letting them float out like this. So you're not going to do this like you're doing a shrug the entire time. You're going to bring your elbows down. And imagine you have those pockets back there that you're trying to get your elbows into. On these warm-up sets, we usually do push the number of reps up somewhat high, 15 to 20, because this really is just about waking the body up, getting blood in the muscle group that we're going to be working. And you shouldn't be anywhere near failure at that 15th or 20th rep when you're just using warm-up weight. All right, here we go. First working set. Everything else still applies. We just have a different, more challenging weight on here now. And so we'll be doing less reps. Aiming for the 8 to 12 rep range. Elbows tucked into those back pockets. What do I tell you guys every workout? If you can't hold and squeeze the rep at the full extension, you're using too much weight. Two more. Feels very, very good. We're gonna ratchet up the weight for the next set. It is unexpectedly crowded in here today, you guys. We have this winter weather warning. Snow, ice, sleet, black ice, you know, everything like that. People are out raiding the grocery stores. I thought that meant everybody would have stayed home. I guess not. It is Saturday, but you know, gym goers are a different breed. We get it in even if we die on the way to the gym. We got to do it. All right, second working set. Bit more weight than last time. It felt like I could do more than 12 reps on that last one, so that's why I bumped up the weight. It needs to be challenging to get 8 to 12 reps. If you can do more than 12, it's not challenging enough. If you can't even do 8, then it's too challenging. That's what I'm referring to by the hypertrophy range. Here we go. Those two tips right there are absolutely critical in finding the sweet spot of hypertrophy training. First one, if you can't hold the weight at the full extension, it's too heavy. Your second check is if you can do more than 12, it's not enough weight. If you can't do 8, it's too much weight. Using those two tests, you'll find out what weight you should be using. All right, set number 3. See that chest staying up? Elbows staying down and tucked in. Slight pause on each rep. Feeling fantastic. One more set of these, and we'll already be 25% done with back day. And we'll alternate. We'll do this first horizontal movement, and then we'll switch to a vertical movement, and then back to horizontal, and then finish with another vertical. All right, last set of horizontal rows. Giving you guys a little bit of a view from the quarter side back. One thing I want to show you real quick, I'm going to drop the weight just for demonstration purposes. These back movements, what you see very commonly, especially when people are using too much weight, is they're going to swing their torso back while doing the arm part of the movement. So they're using both their lower back to go back and forth, and then they're using their arms. You really want to avoid movement at the lower back. Okay, you're going to honestly hurt yourself very quickly if you are doing something like this with every row. We want to avoid all of that. So let's get some real weight back on here, and we'll use slightly heavier weight for this last set. And just because we're bumping the weight up, we will not compromise on form. I'm willing to compromise on reps and come down from 12 to 8, but we're still going to protect our form because that's what protects us from injury. Chest up, small curve in the lower back, overhand grip, elbows into the back pockets. Slight pause on each rep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to squeeze and hold on that last rep. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Bro, we're getting thirsty. And it's getting warm in here. We'll now move on and try to find a vertical pulling movement, whether it's a lat pull down or a pull up simulation, one of the two. Sipping the BCAAs as always. All right, let's find a new home. All right, so for lat pull downs, let's go ahead and get our working weight on here. Seat adjusted so that we can stay locked in. All right, so with all the other back movements, chest up towards the sky, slight curve in the lower back. And note that we're not rocking. What we're not doing is bringing our whole torso back and then coming down. Torso staying locked down. Two more. Squeeze and hold. All right, second set. Big breath in before the set.
Whew. 2 down. All right, we have to relocate. I angered one of the gym patrons by taking up too much time on one of the machines in the circuit training area. I offered him to work in. I said, hey man, if you're doing a circuit, feel free to jump in. He called me a hipster and said I should get back to filming my TikToks. I said, I'm not a hipster and I don't use TikTok. Both of those things are obviously true. But we're heading back down to the main workout floor and we're just gonna have to try to figure out how to work around all these damn people. But this just illustrates the fact that we really do need to get a different gym membership. All right, let's get set up on this plate loaded lat pull down machine. We still have 2 more lat pull downs to do after we offended the sensibilities of the he wasn't a boomer, he was like a, I don't even know, he was a balding Gen Zer. Maybe that's why he was so angry. You think? I don't know. Get framed up right. All right, this is definitely not enough weight. Let's go ahead and drop 2 plates on here. All right, my antisocialness is definitely triggered today, but we're not gonna let that kill the vibe or prevent us from doing what we need to do. Either the workout or getting the content to you guys so you can go and get jacked and build the confidence to make fun of losers who try to interrupt your flow. All right, let's put some more weight on there. That was not challenging enough. Just about time for us to reveal our power level. People tend to fuck with you less after they see the gains. Right now, you know, we just got the hoodie on, so nobody knows that I have an infinitely better physique than them. That's what's called hiding your power level. We'll do 1 more set of these and then we'll pop the top. And this is gonna be a heavier set, so strap in. We got 3 plates on here. All right. And we don't have any straps or anything. I haven't used straps in years, honestly. Two more. 1 more. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's heavy. All right. I think it's time. Fucking hair is clipped into the mic. on, because I know we're looking a mess. So what, that's 2 sets of these? Let's do these single arm. So we'll drop the weight a little bit so we can get a little bit more focused with each rep using one arm. All right, it's a good weight for single arm. Feel a nice stretch here. And now I can use my free arm to come over and get deeply familiar with that mind-muscle connection. I can see this dude in the mirror behind me staring down my back while I do these. No homo, I think. Maybe homo, not sure. Look, man, people can't help it. They don't see a physique like this every day. It's aspirational, you know? They say, damn, I wonder how long he's been doing it. I wonder what his diet is like. Is it just genes? Or is there more to it? I wonder if he's on testosterone, Trenbolone, Deca, Winstrol. How many grams of protein does he eat? How many calories does he eat per day? I wonder if he does cardio. The reason I know they're asking themselves all those questions is because I used to ask the same questions. Every time I saw some dude with the jack physique. All right. You know, sometimes getting annoyed at the gym, it actually helps fuel a better workout. Because it's kind of like, that's what testosterone does. It's confrontation, it's conflict resolution, it's aggressiveness. So, some fucking fat Gen Z balding loser doing circuit training who's never really been in shape in his life wants to give you shit because you're trying to film content to help other people at the gym. We had some verbal sparring. I won't go into what was said, but let's finish these off single arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this one. Wow. All right. How are we feeling? Holy shit. Just caught myself in the preview. Let's change machines before we jizz our pants over here. Looking at the preview. All right. Time for some plate loaded rows. These are definitely low rows. Earlier we were kind of doing mid rows. These are positioned quite a bit lower. Love this machine though. I wish I could get a good angle from the back, but I would be in everybody's way. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. The back pump is nasty. All right. Like with everything else on back day, we are going to get our chest. Hold on. We're going to get our chest up towards the ceiling, elbows back down into our pockets. One more. Cheating a little bit on those, I can tell. A little bit too much shrugging and a little bit too much motion in the lower back. But this is the third movement of the day, man. We're getting a little fatigued. I think I want to boost the seat up a little bit. All right, next set, we're gonna do single arm. Just to savor the squeeze a little bit. Man, these people with fucking gray hair keep turning around looking at me. Hipster, bro. And the ironic thing is like, this dude looked like a hipster. He's like 30 pounds overweight, comic book t-shirt, balding gray hair, towel around his neck, doing circuit training. Bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Some of us are really here to make gains. I see my friend over there. He's eyeing the dumbbells. I think he said he was doing shoulder day. All right, single arm this time. Oh man, what a good squeeze. Squeeze it and hold it back there. One more. Other arm. I feel like I'm getting a lot of looks today. I don't know if it's because of the camera or because of the gains. Or maybe it's all in my head. It's probably a combination of both. Crazy thing is, 11 years ago, when I was a skinny fat loser with no confidence, you never would have caught me dead doing anything to draw attention to myself, intentional or unintentionally, in public. If I thought it would unintentionally do it, then I wouldn't do it. And I would certainly never go somewhere knowing I'm going to draw attention from the public. Yeah, here we are. Everybody in the gym is looking. That's okay. Let them look. And whether it's pettiness, jealousy, making assumptions about me, or it's constructive, they feel inspired, I'm fine with either one. Let them look, man. You guys know you do it. You see some dude with a serratus popping down here, crazy delt, bicep veins, chest hanging out, got the upper chest cleavage, the striations. You may not try to look too overtly, but we all try to sneak a peek. And that's what they call catch 'em iron. Whenever you catch somebody doing that, you know, they think they were being sly, and you just look up and you catch that their eyes are on you, and then they look away. Catch 'em iron. Or caught you hating, one of the two. I don't even know how many sets of this we've done, you guys. Is this 3 or 4? All right, let's move on to the last movement of the day. We got to find another vertical movement. Hopefully we're going to do straight arm push downs. depending on what's available. Those kind of take up a lot of room. All right, straight arm push downs. You can do these with a short straight bar or with the rope. Concept is the same. As high as it'll go on the cable machine. Get those elbows up above the ears. Small curve in the lower back. And now bring in our elbows down to our sides. Very important. The reason they're called straight arm push downs is because you shouldn't be doing this and then this. Those are two different movements. This is a row, this is a push down. Neither of those are straight arm push downs. Give that nice squeeze with every rep. Ooh. Oh. Yikes. Man. All right, round two. Oh man, look at the framing of this shot. I'm looking at it on the monitor, and you guys, we are looking fantastic. Listen, if you're looking at your own reflection while you're working out and you're not feeling good about what you see, that just means you haven't worked out enough. Haven't dieted hard enough. Oh, fuck. Two more sets of the day, and then we're out of here. Might have to hit up the grocery store for some grub on the way home. Oh shit, we gotta do some posing though. We gotta do some posing. While we're pumped. Man, you're looking bigger than normal today, man. I miss those days, man. Waking up like literally every day, like, whoa, that didn't used to be there. I can see this now. I can see that now. Jealous of those people who are just getting started.
Yeah. Last summer, morning weight, I was like consistently 205, 206, maybe 204 if I was a little dehydrated.
What was that body fat wise though? Because I can get up to 200 if I want to, but like, what's the point of me gaining 20 pounds of fat to maybe get those 10 more pounds of muscle?
Yeah,
I would look terrible.
You shouldn't be 200.
Right, I mean.
That's way more than a bulk.
Yeah, I think the biggest I ever got was like 195.
Wow.
And that was about 5 years ago.
Something where it's pretty dramatic, pretty quick. Brandon D-ball, plus test. He wasn't running, oh yeah, man, I just added the Anavar and I blew up for a pound. It wasn't like that. I used to make fun of him. But, I've cracked down on my diet a lot this past month. And I'm following, remember I used to say I would more or less wing it when I came in here and just kind of go with what I could do?
Yeah.
I haven't been winging it for almost 4 weeks now, about the same amount of time. I'm on like an actual split, an actual schedule, an actual rhyme and reason. Every day I go by on the and now the price went up $6 a pound. So
it's $6 a pound or went up $6 more?
It went up $6 a pound, so now I'm back to ground beef. But I'm still getting, I'm getting like 130 to 150 grams of protein just in 2 of my meals. And then if I eat once or twice in between, I'm getting like another 50 or 60 grams of protein. Oh, I got my bicycle about 3 weeks ago. So if it's not raining and it's not a day like today and tomorrow.
All right, you guys, that's a wrap on back day. We also broke our tripod getting set up over here just to try to get a little bit of a physique update. So Amazon will be seeing a return from us very shortly. Be cool if the camera would keep focused. That'd be nice. All right, let's see what a 28-inch waist looks like here. Oh, some cramps. This thing is like right on the seam of the mirror. Is that better? It's slightly offset. Let's try to talk while sucking my stomach in for the vacuum. That doesn't work very well. I don't know if you can see it. Do we need to come out a little bit? As always, too large for the frame. And bro, this seam right here is what's killing me. I think this hat may not be helping our cause because it's, does that help? Hold on. So we can maybe get clipped in down here. I don't know if that'll be any better. See if we can get some back updates. Closer. There we go. I got this cramp right back here. It's making this more difficult than it should be. Back double bicep. downlighting is messing with the upper chest light. Front lat spread. Got your hands pushing in to your lower back. Elbows kicked out.
Down here in this point.
Amazing width. All right, clipping you guys back into the hat mode. We definitely got more pissy, annoying looks today than we ever have in the gym. I think it might be because I'm more shredded than I've been lately. You know, showing a little bit too much skin maybe. Maybe the pump is too egregious.
What?
It's too nasty for people, you know? Hurts their feelings. A little bit too much definition, too much vascularity, too much size. I don't know what it is. But that being said, you guys, I think it is time for us to put a wrap on this day, go get some groceries, and then go have ourselves a delicious meal with some ice cream to wrap up the evening. Talk to you guys later.